What's up, Drop Pod listeners? You can listen to the Drop Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Pods. New episodes drop every Wednesday. You can also find all of our content on YouTube at the Drop Golf Podcast, as well as all our socials. That's Instagram and Twitter at the Drop_pod. No matter how you consume us, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Follow and listen along.
This episode is presented by the Law Office of Mallon and Tranger. Tom Mallon and Randy Tranger are board-certified trial attorneys who share more than 40 years of legal experience. They specialize in personal injury matters, workers' compensation cases, and criminal and municipal defense. As certified trial attorneys, they've recovered millions of dollars on behalf of people injured in accidents and employees injured at work. They have offices conveniently located in Freehold and Point Pleasant. For skilled and personalized legal representation, call Mallon and Tranger at 732-780-0230 or check out their website at tmallonlaw.com. Not only are they good people, they're good golfers too.
Yeah, I can't wait to drop all those.
And we can see your beautiful face.
Yeah.
We can see your beautiful face.
I'll give it to you now.
Go back to the other one. I like the other one. This is the Drop Podcast where we talk golfing in the Garden State. I'm Mike Poro, and this is Ryan Kulot.
What's going on, everyone? We have a really special episode for you. Today's guest is Jack Wall and his brother, Jerry Wall. You might have heard, Jack played in the Genesis Invitational last week. We talked about it on the podcast last week about trying to get him on. We weren't able to make it work, but we did get some time with him this week to talk about his experience. He had his brother Jerry on the bag. It was awesome to have Jerry as well. Just two great kids. I mean, they're really wiser than their years are. They're both very well spoken, but also like a couple of kids that like to have fun, and they're joking with each other, telling stories about their week together. It was incredible, an awesome experience that we were able to sit down, have with them, and hear about their awesome experience. So
I mean, listen, these two guys are, when you're talking about born and bred golfers in the Garden State, Jack and Jerry have it. Their stories are incredible. They're two brothers that went out there, and Jack accomplished something that, I think a lot of us thought he could, and he ended up doing it. Jerry gets on the bag, shares some incredible stories. Another, I get it, I understand, we say it often, and we say it a lot, but it's another must-listen to episode. There's no question about it. But before we jump to that, Rye, let's talk a little bit about Hazy Sticks. These guys, and I shouldn't even preface it, it's really a guy, Justin. We connected with him on Instagram. He has, what are golf alignment sticks, and he's been fortunate enough to make us, the Drop Podcast, 2 custom sticks that we're going to have a nice little giveaway on. And they're color green, just like us, for, golfing in the Garden State, just like a lot of our logos are. They're engraved with, it says, the Drop Podcast on them. The giveaway is going to launch officially on Thursday after this episode is released on Wednesday. And Justin's going to tell us a little bit about him, his company, and things that he's doing. So before we jump to Jerry and Jack, let's hit up Justin real quick about some of the things about his business. So we're fortunate enough today, I know the audience loves the giveaways, and I know that anytime that we're able to toss something out there to all our listeners and followers, I know they are all in on that. And, we got another one coming out tomorrow. So you got to make sure you take a peek to Instagram and see what we have coming out. But who we have on today is Justin over at Hazy Sticks. They make golf alignment sticks that are unbelievable in terms of the designs, the embroidery, from top to bottom, it's high quality stuff. And, Justin's been kind enough to come on here real quick, give us a few minutes of his time and talk a little bit about Hazy Sticks and his business. So Just, I appreciate you, stopping on here real quick with us.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate you guys letting me on. And, this is going to be fun to be able to talk about like sort of what we do and how everything works and sort of the process.
So why don't you give us a little, tell us a little bit about Hazy Sticks, because obviously, as a golfer, I seen it in people's bags. I see it all over Instagram. I see people tagging you guys all the time in it. And obviously in the game of golf, having some sort of quality and durable alignment sticks goes a long way. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Hazy Sticks and the business that you have?
Okay, yeah. So Hazy Sticks is a custom alignment business, alignment stick business. We create, like you said, high quality alignment sticks for people. It's like the next step. It's sort of what else can you get? And these are personalized, which makes it a lot of fun for the consumer to be able to choose what they want. They can, think about schools, colleges, businesses, whatever their color scheme is, they can sort of go along that line, and that's what makes it fun. Yeah, it's been a nice 2-year journey so far. I started, just sort of telling my wife it was something I was interested in, and our daughter's name's Hazel, so kind of works. It's
What
like,
made you get into this area? Because no offense, like you said, it is a little bit of a specialty. It's not the big name golf clubs, things of that nature. So what drove you to this area?
so I feel like I've always been sort of tinkering around with things. I used to buy like Scotty Camerons and refinish them and resell them, and then do a couple of things for some friends on the side. And I just sort of was looking around one day, and at the end of the day, I know I'm not the only one doing this, so I'm like, how can I make what I do unique compared to others? And I've been fortunate enough to talk to a few of the other people that do this, and we're all on the same page. I mean, at the end of the day, with golf clubs, there's so many different companies, so many different brands, all doing their own unique thing. And we're all trying to, there's so many clubs out there and so many people out there. I feel like that's one of the biggest things I've learned from this experience is how many people are actually out in this world. That, as you probably learned as well, it's crazy. And it's a lot of fun because you meet new people all the time.
And I guess knowing the golf alignment world in terms of like the product and how to use it, being a competitive golfer, like I guess my question to you is for the audience to hear this, like what separates you and your product maybe from the others? Like why should someone, if they're into wanting to update their alignment sticks or even frankly get them because they're ready to take it to the next level, like why Hazy Sticks over the other brands that are out there?
So I think my ability to bring that customization to the consumer. I think they're able to, anyone nowadays who can use their phone or use a computer or an iPad is able to simply go on there and click really any colors they want. And I'm there to help them along the way if need be. But I mean, 95% of the people have no problems creating their own thing. They can choose between, I think, 300 different fonts and text. And my biggest thing is like through this whole thing is trying to find the best quality. So I'm constantly rolling these sticks out. When I receive them as 3/8-inch dowels, and I roll them all individually and chuck the ones that I don't feel like are good enough of quality for someone to, if I were to purchase it, I wouldn't want something that's warped or bent or anything like that. So I'm going through every single one. And, at the end of the day, I have my eyes on like everything that happens. I do almost everything. It's myself. My sister helps out. My father-in-law, actually, my friends' girlfriends, and like some other people I found on Indeed. But it's really like piecework type stuff for them. The taping helps a lot. And then I'm the one that's doing everything else, engraving, painting, shipping, all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's busy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when the sticks came to my house, right, and I took them out, I texted Ryan on the side. I was like, man, I don't want to give these away. Like, I want to throw them in my bag. I mean, the fact that they had the Drop podcast engraved on them, I was like sold. The colors for us were right up our alleys. Like, I'm like, I kind of just want to keep these. I mean, I don't need to have a giveaway right now because, like you said, I think that's the one thing that, seeing different types of alignment sticks, the quality of the stick is really, to me, what separated itself from others that I've seen. And hearing, about how you basically find the best of the best that even are sent to you, and then you discard some of the other stuff, I think speaks to, the quality of what you have and the product that you have. I truly do.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say that, generally where sometimes if we I have a batch of 250 sticks or so. Sometimes 50% get tossed, sometimes
Wow.
30% get tossed, but you love it when you can just start rolling and these things are rolling perfectly straight and you're like, all right, yes, I got a nice little run going, which is cool. I'm constantly trying to find the best like waterproof, tight quality of clear coat that I can. So I will say, and we've talked about it, we're like, man, we feel a little bit bad for the people who, not that they were bad when we first received them, but like the quality has gotten better over time for sure.
Same with this
In the
podcast.
sense, yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
It's just yeah, so it's you want it to do that, and I think that's the whole idea. And you know and other things like finding the right price point at the end of the day is like, what are people going to, you want to make it affordable where, I look at it as myself a lot because it's like, all right, would I buy these? Would I just click around all day? It's saying, man, these would be cool. One day I will buy them. But I think it's one thing too. It's like, it has become like the perfect gift for someone who has, pretty much everything else. It's hard to buy golfers gifts because you walk into the store, especially if you don't know, and you're like, all right, well, what do I buy?
Is there a minimum on how many that you need to buy?
So I've tried to vary it so that no matter your budget, pretty much, you're able to buy what you need. I want to say our website ranges from, like, right now, I just released the Black Collection, which is a single stick that just has our new alternate logo at the top with the H, and then that person's custom engraving on there. And I think those are $35. And then if someone wants to buy two pairs that they're literally doing everything they want to it, I think it might go up to like 93, 96. There's stock sticks that you'll get Hazy Sticks on each stick in a $69 range. And then for an extra $7, I engrave the one stick for them. So I'd say I get a little bit of everything in terms of who buys what, but a lot of custom sticks, and a lot of people are coming out with some really cool combinations that I don't even think of.
Gotcha.
So let's talk a little bit about the giveaway that we'll have on our end. Obviously, you've been fortunate enough to send us 2 customized sticks. It is the design number 4 listed on your website. So if people don't know, they can go to hazy-sticks.com. They go under the custom sticks. It's alignment stick design number 4, with our green and white, and why don't you talk a little bit about those custom sticks specifically?
Yeah, so the ones I made for you guys were one of the newest clear coats that I do use, and it's like the quality, I feel like, is just like, it's becoming next level quality, where it's like, it's sort of like glass when you feel it. It's got like that really like thick coating on there. It's nice.
Yeah, listen, like I said,
like
when I got it, I was blown away. I said, "Oh
like
man,
a piece you want to hang on the wall."
I'm like, I just got to keep it. Selfishly, it's just got to go in my bag. Like, I need one in my bag and one in my room because it says the Drop Podcast on there. I'm like, right, this is perfect. Like, do I even need to do a giveaway? Like, I just want to keep this thing, So obviously, for our listeners and people that are following along, the giveaway will launch officially tomorrow. So you have to make sure that you check Instagram for all the rules and to make sure that you follow not only the Drop Podcast, but Hazy Sticks as well. So listen, we can't thank you enough for doing this with us, and for everybody, go give Justin a follow at Hazy Sticks on Instagram. Go check out their website, hazy-sticks.com. All great stuff. You can get custom alignment sticks, all different accessories. Go check them out. So Just, I appreciate you giving us a few minutes here to talk a little bit about you, your company, and hopefully we can continue this relationship in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I really appreciate you guys getting me on here. You guys enjoy, all right?
Thanks, Just. Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, talk soon.
Today's guest, listen, we're fortunate. We've been trying to get Jack on after his amazing run out there at the Genesis Invitational. And we're not only fortunate to have Jack on the episode today, but we got his caddy and brother, Jerry. So I think this is another one of those episodes that I know Ryan and I say every single time. But you want to hear some stories. You want to hear about meeting Tiger Woods. you want to hear about playing with the big dogs out in California, like this is the episode to listen all the way from the beginning to the end. So I do want to paraphrase that before I get going. So Jack, let's start at the beginning because I know that you guys were out in Hawaii. Okay, you were supposed to play a tournament out there. North Carolina was out there, and we were fortunate the other day to have David Ford on, who's another a phenomenal golfer in the collegiate world, and I'm sure you know his name well. But the tournament obviously gets canceled because of high winds, so you guys don't even get to play the tournament. So I'm assuming that the two coaches decided, like, hey, listen, let's have a Big 12 ACC matchup with two premier programs in the nation, and then you guys decide just to play the following day. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. So we, everything kind of hit the fan, I would say, after the decision to cancel the first round. Like we had played, I think it was 7 or 8 holes, and they called us in because it was it was bad. Like balls rolling off greens and just the whole 9. And then they called that round, canceled it. Next day we play 3 holes. They pull us off the course. That one gets canceled. And then they're like, we're not doing this anymore. So, but with all the flights, the teams were leaving. I think it was the Saturday. Everybody had their flights and teams were like, wow, we don't really want to move them. So let's make it, let's turn it into something useful for us. So 4 teams got together. It was Texas, Georgia Tech, us, and UNC. And we're like, let's do a little competitive, like, national championship little test run here. And so we came up with that, and it was great. I think 12 other teams played a different tournament at the same course, just like a 4-ball or something that didn't really count for anything. But we wanted to get like a beneficial NCAA championship run just to see what we kind of have to do moving forward, which I thought helped a lot. I mean, it was still blowing like 55 out there. It was nuts. Like I was hitting 4-iron from like 120 yards.
Wow.
I mean, it was
wow.
How short do you hit it?
But
so the coaches, kind of just came up with that last second, and it worked out great. So
I mean, you guys, I mean, the names alone on those two teams, when you dive deep into the Wagger or PGA Tour U, like they're no joke. I mean, between Ludwig and Calum and yourself and David Ford, like we could go on in just the names of both teams being big time golfers. And I hate to do this because David Ford was an absolute gem of a guest for us. He was a good dude to talk to, but Ludwig pretty much rolled him.
Yeah, we kind of got done with everybody's match, and we were all just kind of talking after. And Ludwig, in 60-mile-an-hour winds or 55-mile-an-hour winds here, and if you miss the fairway on some holes, it's pretty tight. You're losing golf balls. Like that's just end of the story. Like you just lose balls. And we get done with it, and we're like, "Oh, how'd you play?" He goes, "Yeah, I played really well." After they had finished the match, he kept playing a couple holes, and he was like, "Yeah, I drove this par 4, hit it to like a foot, and I made eagle." And we were like, "Wow, that's kind of sweet." Like, yeah, that was to get me to 8 under on the day.
Stupid.
Wow.
And we were literally, everybody on the team was like, "Oh man, I was like 1 under, 2 under, even 1 over." We were all just like, wow, we thought that was pretty good. He was at 8 under with a short par 3 and a par 5 to play.
Sick.
Wow.
Insane.
Yeah. When I saw that, I said I figured he had to play good because, no offense, David Ford's no joke either. Like he can flat out golf too.
He can golf as ball. I mean, what is he, like top 10 in Wagger?
He's number 6.
Right. Guy wins. That's what he does. But yeah, it was, crazy to listen to him. Like 8 under. Like that's not even
right. It doesn't sound like David could have done whatever he wanted to that day. It doesn't matter. He wasn't beaten 8 under those conditions, it sounds like.
Right.
So again, okay, so that tournament ends. Okay, that's what, Friday that you played that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so now do you know that you're going out to the Genesis as one of the 2 guys from Texas Tech going? Like, did you know that your invite was preset?
Yes. Yeah. So we
Okay.
did a qualifier for it prior to going to Hawaii. So it was me and my one teammate who didn't make the trip to Hawaii. So he was going to meet us in LA. So obviously we were flying out Saturday, the day after the match. And we just kind of hung out, for most of the day. And then me and my coach took a different flight to LA that night. So got in Sunday morning at like 2 a.m., 2:30. So yeah, that was pretty much the schedule of events there leading up to it.
And what time did you tee off on Monday?
8 a.m. I was one of the last ones to go. Like I think the first tee time was like 6:40.
Wow, early.
Sun came up, you're going.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the PGA Tour schedule.
So obviously now you tee off on Monday, okay? You have to be feeling pretty confident after how you played in Hawaii too, because you played pretty well to beat one of Carolina's guys as well. And so you go into Monday, like, what are the expectations? Do you think like, oh shit, like I legit have a chance to get in, or is it like, you know, let me just see and maybe see mid-round?
Like I knew I was playing all right. I mean, it wasn't anything special. Like I've definitely played better golf, but just kind of the atmosphere takes you away from the pressure and the expectation of like playing in a PGA Tour event, because you're playing with, you know, one tour pro who's just out there kind of like knocking it around, not really, you know, happy to be out there, I would say.
Yeah.
Because they're, you know, they just want to get it over with and like that's it. And then you're playing with two of your school's donors. So like it's more of like a social, you know, talking a lot, where are you from, that type of stuff. So it's really hard to get in that space of like, I'm actually qualifying for a PGA Tour event right now. It was good though, because they did have leaderboards, like, you know, they used all the tour leaderboards for us, which was pretty cool. So I got to see every few holes where, you know, I was at. And after, I think I teed off on 10, I got to the green and I look at the leaderboard and there's a kid 3 under through 3. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
But Jack, that probably takes out some pressure. Even like you said, it's tough to get in that spot. You're probably just like, okay, 3 under through 3, I'm out. Tough to get revved up for this. Let me just go hit some golf balls today.
Right. I mean, at that point, obviously you're still nervous because you know that there's something on the line. So like 10, hit a good tee shot, you know, ended up making like a 5-footer for par. I'm like, all right, that's a confidence booster to start the day, making a 5-footer. Like I get on the next tee box, and on 11 at Riv, they have all of the tour manufacturer trucks. Like they have them lined down the right side. And I was nervous, and I guess I just got really quick on this swing, and I hit it through some trees right off the tee on the right side and ended up nailing Strix on Cleveland. And I swear, people ran out of it like a vomit. And I'm like, oh no, this is not good. Like I ended up hitting it like 200 yards off the tee. I had to hit 3 wood to like cover the little ravine, which still, like, I got lucky that I covered it. I was in the rough. I ended up making 5. And then from then on, I was like, all right, let's play some golf. And then played better coming in. But that was a crazy start. And then thinking about the kids who are 3 under through 3, I'm like, okay.
Jerry, are you caddying for him on Monday?
No, I was working. I was probably pedaling some cars, and we were trying to follow along, but in all the tournaments that these guys play in, they're so well, like the live scoring is so well like tracked. This was like I want to say we saw like even through 6 maybe, and then I don't think there was another update at all until I think my dad got the text from his coach saying like, he's got him, 2 putt on 9 to get into a playoff. And then he goes, all right, looking like a playoff 2.5 feet. And I'm like, I mean, Jack should make it, but 2.5 feet isn't a gimme. And then we heard playoff. And then coach finally texted my dad saying that he was in after number 11. So like between getting told, hey, there's a playoff, and then playing the 10th and 11th holes, it was probably, 35 minutes. We were like, what the hell is going on? And then we were all jacked up at work. Like once we found out, and I was like, I'm flying out, like get my flight, flying out for, as soon as possible, so I booked the flight on Tuesday for Wednesday morning, flew out there, rolled in. And, yeah, that was how that kind of worked out.
It was
That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy because I knew that
Yeah.
you were playing out there that day, right? I saw some things on Instagram, and people are like commenting, especially people that follow NCAA golf heavily, and they're asking questions on Instagram, and I just, who's gonna win? it's 9 a.m. in the morning. I'm at school. Jack Wall. Like, I'm putting it out there. Like, I know that you're in there, and I don't know if you have a chance, but I'm putting it out there. Like, who the hell knows, right? Right? So I'm getting a text around like 4:30, 5 o'clock saying, like, yo, Jack Wall's in a playoff. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. No way, right? Like, I'm now scrolling through Instagram and Twitter trying to find, like Jerry said, like some sort of leaderboard, but it was nowhere to be found.
Tracking of it. And you would think, like, with the Genesis Invitational, like, you know, a big TJ Tour event, this is Tiger Woods' event, Tiger Woods' showcase, that you would be like, hey, they almost even do like a live feed of like the playoffs.
Something.
You know? People would have watched that. I mean, a ton of people would have watched
Listen,
that.
people in the Garden
It actually
Store.
probably would have been sick because two really good college players going at it head to head for the last spot in the Genesis Invitational.
Right. Or as Jack said, they use the leaderboard. Seems like it was up to date throughout the course. Just get that on there somehow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Turns on it, like, figure it out, guys.
And then when you won, right? I finally get a text that Jack's in. He eagled 11. Like, I'm that guy on my phone trying to break news. Like, I'm checking. I know that you played Kentucky, the kid from Kentucky. I'm checking their golf account. Nothing. I'm checking Texas Tech. Nothing. I'm going Instagram, Twitter. I'm like trying to be that guy, right? The minute that I go to try to press send, I see Kentucky puts it out there and beats me by like 15 seconds. And I say to Ryan, I'm like, dude, I just lost out. I'm trying to break this news that our boy Jack had a chance to win this thing. That won it. He won.
Yeah.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It wasn't crazy. I'd say the last hour was crazy.
Well, tell them about, like, we called, or you called Dubs, our dad, and I'm pretty sure my dad was like, oh yeah, Jack, he called me, and, to say he was in, and then, like, my dad could even hear, like, Jack, we need you in, like, the media room, like, we got to do, like, some media stuff and whatever. And so you're getting ripped away to do all that stuff, like a whirlwind type of situation. Like, happy Monday, baby.
No doubt.
Well, it all started with, like, I didn't really think I had a legit chance. Like, I had to do something special down the stretch because I looked at a leaderboard. I think I was 2 over. No, 1 over. I needed to like make 2 birdies to get into a playoff for what I thought, because 1 under was leading, and that kid from Kentucky was 1 under going into the last hole, and he ended up making bogey to get back to even, and then on 8 at Riv hit a good drive, hit a decent wedge to like 20 feet, and I'm like, this is the putt. Like, 9's a tough hole. This is the putt that will decide my future, kind of. And ended up rolling it in, and just was like top of the world, give it a little fist pump, like, let's go, let's do this. everybody in the group's like, come on, like, let's go. Like,
how long was the putt?
Like 20 feet. I mean, not a very good wedge shot from like 90.
And no video evidence of this. There's no.
Unfortunately, I don't think so. No, not that I'm aware of.
Again, like, their cameras are already set up for this tournament. How to just throw 15% of your video camera people on, so a couple holes can be videotaped. Yeah. Again, Jerry, like you said, figure it out.
Like, figure it out. Like, this is not like a small thing.
No, and you already have the infrastructure in place.
Like, yeah, like, I feel like it's one of the bigger, like, collegiate. Even if you literally just had your like, lowest level media people, like your social media people, just going around and, like, with their phones and, like, taking a video here, or, like, hanging out by the 9th green, like, where everybody's finishing, like, hey, here's a putt for Jack Wall, and just throw it up on your story, like, Golf Association of Philly and, like, the Met, New Jersey State, like, I think we can all agree that they're a little bit smaller than the PGA Tour. You couldn't get, like, all hands on deck. Like, let's figure out a way to, get this kind of, like, out into the world, like keep us posted out here.
Yeah.
And I agree. You're in the world we live in today, where everything is videoed. Everything. You're telling me we can't get one person to video? Okay, fine. You don't want to do the first 18, right. Fine. But we're in a playoff now, and we're not playing one playoff.
It's the same
we're playing
group,
2.
Get
get
one guy on it.
They did.
All I see Jack make the 20-footer for eagle on the second playoff hole. That's the video that I saw.
The cameras started showing up on 9T in regulation when, like, after I made the birdie, I have 1 hole left. That's when the first camera came and started shooting some. Obviously, it didn't do anything. They didn't produce any video, but I got a heck of a lucky break on 9 because the left fairway bunker on 9 is death.
I was
Like,
just gonna say, let's go
bad
back
news.
because you bang the 20-footer on 8. Let's go to 9.
so like it's a tough hole. Jerry knows this.
No
Like,
doubt. Probably made 8.
it's very hard to hit the fairway. That bunker is like you're hitting a wedge out. Like, you're not doing anything from that
It's a
bunker.
shot penalty. It's a shot penalty.
And I hit it directly at this bunker, and I knew it wasn't going to carry. It just didn't have enough air under it. And I'm like, oh no. And then I see it land perfectly in the bunker. It rolls up the lip and gets out of it. And I'm like,
Wow.
it's
like
it's
fate.
just one of those signs where, like, I mean, it's just meant to be, I guess. And then hit a 9. I got there to a back right pin just on top of the tier chair. And
Right.
it's like probably 2 inches in the rough. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I probably got a 15-foot chip / putt straight downhill, down green, downwind. Like, just got to get it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that immediately eliminates wedge. I'm like, I am not chipping this thing.
Bad putt, just as good as a good chip.
Like, literally just make contact with a putter and just get it rolling. And I actually hit an unbelievable putt till probably, it was like a foot. Like, it wasn't 2.5 feet.
Right. Yeah. Which is why we were nervous because it's like, all right, 2.5-footer, that ain't no gimme. Especially when you're like, you're shaking and everything's on line. It's like, those are the putts that look like they're 5.5 feet where, you're a degree off with your putter face and like you don't sniff the hole. But a foot, we would have felt better about that. We wouldn't have been like shaking at the store.
Like, it was a foot where you don't have to worry about it just banging home. But 2.5 feet, if I read it, it probably would have been a left edge putt. Like, it was breaking hard left right. Wow. So yeah, it was like a foot 18 inches. Finishing the round is so nonchalant, like finish up, shake hands, here's my scorecard, all this and that. And they're basically just like, all right, well, we're just finalizing one score, like we're going to 10T. So, and then 3 minutes later, I'm sitting on the 10T with this Kentucky kid, like getting ready to fight it out for that one spot. And meanwhile, my caddy that I had a Riviera Club caddy, and he's all amped up. Like, I don't think he's ever made it into a PG before, like event caddy.
Oh man, that was a heartbreaker. Jack, I'll see you on Thursday morning for the tournament. Yeah, sorry, pal.
So in the playoff, though, you birdied
honestly,
10.
This kid from Kentucky made one of the most unbelievable birdies on 10 that I've seen. I mean, I've only played Riv 4 times, and this was the one that was like, wow, that was sick. Like, that was unreal. I mean, if you're familiar with the hole, the line is to take it left at the trees.
Yeah.
And then have the angle
And
in.
have the angle towards the green, and there's a bunker that's probably 50 yards short of the green, just short of those trees on the left.
It's jail. It's jail.
This kid I was playing had the honors, and he hit it right into that bunker face, like right into it, upslope, 50 yards. And everybody knows in golf that, like, that is the hardest shot. And then you got to give it, like, all right, we're at 10 at Riv. That green is impossible. Like, he would have to land this thing on the far right edge of the green just to keep it on the green. And I'm sitting there, like, in the trees, got lucky, had a perfect angle, like, just had to chip it up there. And I hear him hit this thing, and it sounded, I didn't see it, but I heard it, and it sounded a groove low. And I'm like, oh no, where's this thing going to go? I mean, and it couldn't have landed more perfectly on the right edge of the green, and it spun back to like 12 feet. And I'm like, that was an unbelievable shot. Like, hats off to that. That was sick. And I ended up chipping up there using the slope a little bit. I probably had 7 feet behind it, and this kid gets up and rolls it in, like dead center. I'm like, oh, all right, let's roll up the sleeves here and see if I can make a putt. And I had been struggling on the greens all day because I was just so tentative because they were so fast. And I'm like, all right, just, stay focused, pick a line, hit it. And just, you can stay focused. You can be proud of the result no matter what it is, type deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got up over this thing. I ended up playing, like, I want to say 1.5 feet of break for a 7-footer.
10's green, guys, is just an absolute joke. Like, it should be illegal to have a green like that.
Yeah, you see it on TV. It was one of the most that week. I was glued to the TV all week. Not only because of you and Tiger and the whole
Right,
nine, but
100%.
like it was a phenomenal tournament. Like 10 was one of the most spoken about holes. Whether it's fair, you like it, you love it, but you saw how dangerous that green was. So I guess I'm not surprised that it was a foot and a half on 7 feet. Watching all these tour pros throughout the whole week.
Like, I'll give a perspective here. First of all, the bunkers around that green are, I mean,
Insane.
a penalty, probably making bogey. You're probably hitting, if you're in one bunker, you're probably going to hit 2 bunker shots on the hole.
Like, Jack, would you agree where you were in the second round, like, and you actually couldn't have gotten luckier with like on a little bit on the upslope, perfect lie to that back right pin.
Right.
You had a shot. And you actually hit an unbelievable shot just to keep it on the green.
Right.
Have like, I don't know, 6, 7 feet for birdie. If that pin, if the pin was like middle where it was the first day, and you went at that pin, you could not have stopped it from a more perfect line. You couldn't have stopped it on the green going at the pin. You would have had to have played away from the pin from a perfect line of bunker to that one pin.
I mean, that green is like everything slopes, toward it's a front to back sloping green. And if you throw balls in the fairway long and you have to pitch it over that back bunker to a back right pin, I was hitting like spinners and was finding it like very, very, very difficult to hit the green from a perfect lie in the fairway, dropping balls. Like I was hitting 3, 4 tip shots and I was maybe hitting 1 or 2 on the green. Like that's hitting uphill into the green.
Yeah. Everything working for you.
Everything working for me. Perfect situation. I literally got to tee up my own ball in the fairway because the Zoysia kind of tees it up. And I was still having, a hard time. Like you had to catch it perfectly. I mean, that's just how hard this hole is. And I mean, it's one of my favorite holes. Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's way harder to play in person. But anyway, made that putt in the playoff and then got to go to 11 and adrenaline pumping, just absolutely ripped the tee shot. I mean, probably hit the thing 350, 360.
Avoided the Shrixon truck.
I was in my head. I actually was walking up to the fairway and my coach was there. And I was like, yeah, that tee shot was a little better than earlier.
Did you only need a 2-putt on 11 to win? Did I read that correctly?
Yeah. So he hit it. He hit the fairway with his tee shot, hit it kind of up there short left of the green in the rough. I hit driver 5-iron into this green. It's probably, I don't even know how long the hole is, but I hit a 5-iron from like 235, 240, hit it to 20 feet. He hit a flop shot to about 30 feet and then ran it past about 6 feet. So really, like, he had a 6-footer for par and I was putting for eagle. So, I mean, all I had to do was just get it down there.
Right.
But I was like, no, I don't want to take chances. So I'm gonna try to make this thing.
And you're right.
And then you make it. I mean, I can, like I said to Ryan the other day, I said, there cannot be a person in this world that had a better 7-day stretch from going out to Hawaii, nonetheless. Just go to Hawaii, okay? Then play well in Hawaii. Then you go into Monday, you have an unbelievable victory, right? Just the whole day itself. Like, the experience, I'm sure, was something else. So you win Monday, okay? I can only imagine what the phone is like, okay? I know I was probably one of a gazillion people that are texting you saying, great job. Like, I'm fucking running around my house going crazy as if I have anything to do with what you did. But I am like, let's fucking go, bro. Like, let's go. And then you wake up Tuesday. Like, give us a little bit of what Tuesday and Wednesday is like leading up into Thursday.
So Tuesdays are the day where you got to get all your work in. You got to, as a playing in the event, not being a, well-known tour pro, like Tuesday is your day to get all your prep done. Because Wednesday is like out. Wednesday is pro-am from tee times are from like 6:40 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. Like you're just not going to play. And that was something that I kind of learned, like the real schedule of events at a tour event. So Tuesday is the day where you do everything. I had a, good bunch of media stuff to do Tuesday. So I didn't really end up getting to play until like 2:00. And I actually went out and played 9 holes with Sam Ryder, who's a really nice guy. And we were just kind of hanging out there for 9 holes. And then I ended up playing 13, I believe, on Tuesday. And it's like, I kind of told myself, like, I got to separate myself from my phone while I'm preparing, just because like I could sit on my phone for 45 minutes trying to, organize texting and Instagram and all this stuff. So I was like, I got to disconnect from all of this.
All right, so I can only imagine what your phone was like, because my phone was blowing up from how excited Mike was about you finishing.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what yours was like.
I was on another level. I'm texting Ryan like, you cannot fucking believe this. Jack is in. Like, let's fucking go. I'm texting my buddies. We're making bets that Jack's gonna make the cut. He's finishing top 40, top 20. Like, I'm all in. Like, I'm saying to myself, this guy is not fucking gonna do something, and I have nothing on the line here. Like, I'm all in. I'm all in. I come home after school on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I'm turning on the Golf Channel, and there you are, and I'm like, let's go.
The phone was next level. Like I've never experienced it really that way. Like what? Like I
Which
think
is nuts because you've won tournaments before. Like
Yeah.
you've won big events. People text you a lot.
like winning the Med Am was, something. And that one was manageable with text and everything. But when this happened, it was nonstop from every angle. So you got like Instagram, texts, phone calls, literally the whole nine. And to a point where I don't think I managed the Instagram very well, because like I had, my teammates, everybody was reposting stuff. And normally when you have a situation like that, like I'll throw it up on my feed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a point where like this is probably 100 deep. Like at this point, I'm just not going to post anything. I'll
Right.
just post something. And luckily, like a lot of the people that were reposting, I have their phone numbers and they texted me, so I can kind of give them a thanks through text. But at the end of the week, I just threw something up on Instagram saying like, oh man, like thanks for all the support, all that stuff. So, but I mean, Instagram was nuts, and you got all the, DMs from just people that you've never even heard of, and like just all that stuff. I'm like, oh my God, it was pretty crazy, but happy it happened. Put it that way.
I can't imagine why. So Jack, what was out of all that media day? Obviously, I would imagine meeting Tiger is the height of that day. What was that moment like when you either first saw him or like, shit, this is now real? What was that morning like in that regard?
Well, they texted me, so I had a guy at the event telling me everything I needed to do, like, hey, would love to get you for photos at 10:30, I think he said. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. I thought it would just be photos with like trophy or, I had kind of known that, last year Tiger did make an appearance and like meet with the collegiate showcase winner. So like that in the back of my head was like, I wouldn't be surprised. But then we get up to where we were meeting and they were like, you ready? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I guess.
Like, you're gonna meet the big cat. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready.
Did they say big cat? Did they say the big cat?
I
Oh
love
my
that.
God.
Love
Oh my
that.
God.
Love
That's
that.
awesome.
Love that.
And I'm just like, yeah, let's do this thing. So like 10:30 was the set time we were supposed to start. And I'm like running around trying to get, everything situated because I'm dealing with like getting a car for the week because I didn't have a car. And then on top of it, like I'm supposed to meet Tiger. So I'm like, I got to be there for that. So
And
we're
like,
show
not
up
just
late
be
for
there
that.
physically, but like you want to be present. Like this is a moment in your life. This might be the only time that you're going to meet Tiger. And like,
right.
that is something that you want to be, again, not just physically present for, but like in the moment as well.
Right. So me and the Charlie Sifford Award winner, Marcus, we were just kind of hanging with the media people on the balcony above the putting greens. And we're just kind of, hanging there talking, getting to know each other. And, 11 o'clock rolls around. And every time the door opens from the clubhouse, we're like, and like, I can't tell you how many false alarms we've had. And you obviously try to make it subtle. Like you just kind of like, oh, I'm just looking over there. I'm not
Right.
really.
You get one of those like stretches like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, nothing over there.
And then eventually just his posse rolls out. Like he, got his manager, the whole nine. And then Tiger just follows and I'm just like, wow, there he is. Like he's a beauty.
There's the big cat.
Yeah, so he walks out and I was with my teammate the previous night, and he was with the guy who had won the award last year, who got to play in the Genesis, and he was like, "Yeah, Tiger loves sarcasm. Like he loves to joke around, loves to kind of mix it up a little bit. Like so for the whole night, I'm like, if I get to meet Tiger, like I gotta throw something out there, like just so you'll remember me.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, oh, maybe when he rolls up, be like, hey Tiger, like maybe you want to do a little side action, like what game you want to play, like something like that will just throw him off guard. And he walks up to me, and I'm literally like, just get your name out, just literally say my name. And I'm like shaking, I'm like nervous, I'm like, hi, I'm Jack Wall, and he's just like, so nice to meet you. And we literally sat there and talked about like the playoff and like where the wind was. I'm like, oh my God, I'm telling the greatest golfer of all time where the wind was blowing yesterday, and I'm on top of the world. Nothing so insignificant as talking about the wind. And I'm like, yeah, it was coming from like that way. It was going this way on that hole. The Tiger's just eating it up. He's like, yep, okay, got you. Nice.
So Jack, now obviously after you meet Tiger, you guys are shooting the shit about the wind. Like, did you get your little sly, sarcastic comment in there?
I didn't know.
Ah, damn, I would have loved to know, like, hey, listen, you want to play a little game of Hammer? Like, you want to just like get after it a little bit?
No, I didn't get anything in, unfortunately.
I'll tell you, I think the move would have been to be like, "Hi, I'm Jack Wall. Who are you?" That's
Nice
the sarcastic. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I mean, just crazy. I mean, he was giving us tips like, oh yeah, like, do you guys want to do my press conference? Because it was like his first press conference of the week that was broadcast everywhere. Like, I mean, they were showing it at like restaurants on Thursday after like the first round was done. And he was like, yeah, basically just tell one story. And he was telling us tips from Fred Couples gave him, which was pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, his thing is tell one story and then just bob and weave. That's what he told us. He goes, that's my media thing. And but we got to follow him. We got to walk with him, which is honestly very difficult. He walks very slow, just with the leg and everything. I mean, you don't want to walk in front of Tiger. Like, he's the star. So I'm like walking behind him, like, wow, I gotta really like be conscious about walking slow right now. But then to see him do his media, which was pretty cool.
So then, Jared, you show up on Wednesday, right?
Right.
You leave Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
I can only imagine if I was Jack's caddy and I get him through the thing, and then all of a sudden his brother shows up, like I am like furious. But
Oh yeah, 100%.
now you show up. Did you see the course prior? Now I don't know if you have a history of playing it, but like, did you see the course prior Wednesday at all, or no? You're just jumping on the bag Thursday, saying let's go.
Well, I played the USAM out there, so I mean, it actually reminded me a lot of the event. I thought it was going to be a little bit softer for like the tour guys. Like when the USGA gets their hands on a course, like they trick it out and they make it as high. Like there's nothing that they could do to make the course harder. So like I thought the greens were very similar to like when I played it, but like as far as the week, when I got out there Wednesday, we weren't allowed to go out onto the course because of the pro-am stuff. Which I wanted to kind of go out and like shoot slope and kind of get an idea of like how the greens were running, but
For sure.
obviously with everything going on with like the pro-am, we couldn't get out there. So we basically spent a couple hours like putting and on the practice range and doing that kind of thing. But yeah, like on the first hole or 10th hole on Thursday, that was like the first time I had even stepped foot on any one of the putting surfaces like the whole week. So I'm like trying to add input like early on in the round, but like definitely kind of trying to stay out of the way because my input isn't going to be as probably helpful as whatever Jack's thinking in his head, because he's already been out on the course probably at that point. That's his third time around. So if I was just trying to add speak when spoken to type of a thing, add when I could, he could almost coach me around a little bit. And then like once I got it, I think we were pretty much spot on with like the trying to pick out like landing spots when chipping onto the greens and matching up, because those greens, it's kind of like Baltusrol where you could pick one of 6 different lines with a lot of putts. It just depends on how hard you want to hit it. Like, do you want to baby this thing in like dead weight, so you play an extra 8 inches of break, or are you, hey, let's like take off a little break and just drill this thing? If you drill it and you miss, though, you got 6 feet coming back. I mean, that's kind of how the greens are out there. So you really got to feel it into the hole.
Jack, you tee off on Thursday. Like, I'm glued to refreshing my screen on every hole that you're playing Thursday and Friday. Like, I can't kid myself. I'm like the biggest fan right there. Like, are you thinking like you're gonna make the cut? Like, is that the goal going into Thursday, Friday, or are you just saying like, hey, listen, let me have a good time? Because I can't lie, my buddy and I who both bet on you together, we went in together on everything. We're watching on Friday afternoon, and we're like, dude, if he makes a couple birdies coming in, like, he's gonna make the cut. We're gonna check one box here. Like, is making the cut like something that you thought was a possibility, or you just listen? I'm just here to have fun.
No, it was. I kind of had to get out of the, like, I found myself on Tuesday being like, oh my God, I'm playing in a PGA Tour event at Riviera, like Tiger's event. So that was kind of a whirlwind, and like I actually texted Chris Goddard and Ludwig and was like, hey, you guys got any tips? Like, I know you guys have played in some big time events, and they said, like, you're meant to be there. Just focus on yourself. Don't let the outside noise kind of bring you into a bad space. Just be confident, and you'll be all right. Like, you'll be good. You belong out there. So that was really cool to see from them. Them taking the time to, send a little response back to me. But there was no expectation really at the beginning of the week. Like, obviously, you want to make the cut. You want to top 20 it. In a big time field like that, you'd get a lot of media for that. But with my college, like at Texas Tech, we pride ourselves on like not being so result oriented. We're more of like the process, the journey to get there. And if you do your process right and you do it well, no matter what the result is, like, you can be proud of what you did, type thing. So basically my thoughts for the week were like, all right, I'm gonna, stay focused, be present each and every shot. And we have these things, we call them the 4 boxes at school. And I was going to stay in my 4 boxes. Like, that's just what I was going to do. And the results will, take care of themselves per se, hopefully. But that was the main goal of the week, was to just stay focused and not let the outside noise or, the distractions get to me. And I actually thought Jared and I did a pretty good job with all of that through the week. I think between shots, I think we talked a little too much golf, but that was as much on me as anybody else.
So more of like a growth mindset than a fixed mindset, more or less.
I love that. I love that like, follow your process, and you can be proud of the game plan you came up with. If it doesn't come out, you can still be proud of what you put on there. That's good stuff.
Right. I mean, the last thing you want to do is get into I got to make the cut here mindset, and then you make a few bogeys, and then all of a sudden you're like, I got to force some shots to make birdies, and Riviera is the last place you want to force anything.
Right. Now you got to start pressing, and
and then all of a sudden you turn 2 bogeys into 4 bogeys and a double, and then really your week is done. So it was staying patient, staying focused, executing every shot to what I believe, like, to 100% of my ability, put it that way, and see where it took me. So
you mentioned like talking a lot of golf in between shots. I think, like you said, that's on you. I would also think that's also mostly on your caddy. Do you think you're going to be hiring him for future events?
Definitely.
I'm just going to hang up.
Minus a couple of shots that, I reacted to.
He yelled at me
during the
He
week.
yelled at me. He screamed at
I
me. He's
didn't
like, you
yell
asshole.
I didn't do it directly at you. You were just in my presence.
He was
That
number
way,
8. I'll never forget it. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've been in trouble at work before, and I'm like, whatever. Like, my boss was mad at me, and I was like, I fucked up.
Listen, we all know it's always the caddy's fault.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah,
being a caddy,
Guys,
no matter
Jack
what.
didn't miss the cut, boys. Jack didn't miss the cut. It was the caddy.
So let's dive into the caddy thing, okay? Because I see the pictures circulating of you with the rake in your hand. You got the Leggett's hat on, and I say, man, if that picture doesn't end up in Leggett's, they're doing themselves a disservice. Because that hat is like, you know, I obviously the story is Jack and making the Genesis and all that nine, but like, I mean, Jerry's rocking a Leggett's hat in a PGA Tour event, and it's on camera. I've seen the picture circulating, and I'm like, this is priceless.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, that was almost as big as Jack making the tournament around here like that.
The background of that was incredible too. Like they couldn't have picked a better time
for sure.
Oh, it was perfect.
It was so funny. So I'm in Leggett's on Monday. I'm talking to Hector, and you know, he's like, oh, like, you know, what do you got this week? Just working and stuff. And I'm like, now my little brother qualified for the PGA Tour event, so I'm gonna fly out there and caddy. And he's like, all right, like, you know, I'm gonna get you some like Leggett's gear. So like, I get 2 hats, and the whole week I'm like, all right, what do I wear day one? Like, which one do I go with, the camo or do I go with the silver and black? And sure enough, like rocking the camo American flag on the side, and and you couldn't have written it up. The, you know, Jack birdieing number 10, our first hole of the week, and then I never turn my phone off. I'm bad like with my phone. Like I should definitely like disconnect from it more than I do, because I'll just sit there and just scroll. But I turned my phone off for like the entire front nine, like the entire. So I like wanted to just like check like what the like not even to like say anything to Jack. I just wanted to like see what the leaderboard was kind of like looking like on the back nine. I opened up my phone on like 4 of our second 9, and I had text, and I see text from like Leggett's bartenders, and I'm like, did we catch a little airtime? And sure enough, I have like the screenshots, the pictures of me and Jack on 10, like rake in hand, you know, the Tom Cruise aviators on, like looking sporty. And then sure enough, they're all like, let's fucking go. Like they're like, everybody, like I saw Facebook posts about it. I got texts, like it was so funny. Like, and Hector, you know, the guy that runs the bar is like texting me and like, oh my, amazing. I'm like, all right, just let me know, like, if, you know, if I bring in my, you know, my rent check for, they own our building. So I'm like, maybe I bring in my rent check this month. And he says, hey, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Listen, I hope he does.
Yeah, that'd be nice, right?
Listen, free PR out on the PGA Tour.
Plug.
But also, I mean, they got a good picture of the hat on 16 after that bunker shot.
That's like I think that's the picture that I saw, right, Jack. Because I don't know if I saw the aviators picture. I'll have to have Jerry send me those so I have them.
Yeah,
and maybe I can post them.
Yeah, because it was funny. It was like the first hole, you know, and Jack, obviously, I don't know if they would have showed it if he wasn't like, you know, kind of the press coming into the week,
right? The way he got
qualifying on Monday, exactly, and all the guys were even talking about like, oh, the kid made birdie eagle to get into to the event to qualify, and then, you know, they get, here's the kid who won the tournament, you know, Monday, and here he is birdieing the first hole, sick up and down from the, you know, from left field.
Everybody,
yeah, it was pretty good. Bones was on the putting green, right, and he's like, oh yeah, Jack made. Yo, JT, here's the kid. He made birdie eagle to get into the event. And JT's like, whatever, dude. I don't care. I'm here to win.
How don't you tell that story? When was this? This was going into Thursday? This is Thursday morning? You're on the putting green?
Jack, when was that?
Wednesday. I mean, it was just like putting on the putting green. JT, Bones are there. They're just doing their stuff. And, you know, Bones has said like congratulations already to me. Like I think I saw him Monday after the whole thing. He was walking the course, and he, you know, but he came up to me. He's like, dude, the way you finished that was unbelievable. Like so cool. Like congratulations. Like must be pretty cool playing this week. And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, oh, JT, like this is the kid who, you know, made birdie eagle to get in on Monday in the showcase. And JT's like, no way. Like congrats. Like. But then it was like, all right, I'm just gonna keep doing my putting. He was like handshake, like, hi, I'm Justin. Hey, I'm Jack. Like, nice to meet you. And then it was like, okay, see ya.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's wild.
And that's big time. Yeah, and because I don't think I saw the Aviators picture. I think I saw the picture you were referring to, Jack.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, it was definitely the one on 16.
I think it was too, because I was glued to the
was
TV and my computer all week watching everything from the time that they would go live at 9, 10 o'clock all the way through the whole day. Like I literally would watch every shot of everybody throughout the whole week. Yeah, I don't have that. You'd have to send me that one.
That's
that
awesome.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't see that one either.
Decent.
That is that's the one they need in there.
Yeah, that's classic. That
I think it's gonna be my new Instagram picture.
That needs to be that needs to be the front door.
You're 100%. They got pictures of everybody in there. They got the picture of like the garbage man and man.
Yeah.
Like,
if that's not the front door picture when you walk in, like that should be the frame of the door.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, that's
walk
it.
In, hey, it's there to the right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 100.
Like, where's the bathroom? It's like, oh, just go to the picture of Jerry Wall and it's to the right.
Yeah,
dude, love that. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
So Jerry, what's the summer at Leggett's going to look like?
You might be signing autographs.
I'll tell you what, Jerry, here's what you got to do. You got to, no, don't put it near the front door. You got to put it near where you like to sit at the bar, right? So that you can sit
or just
there.
Put it on like the back of like a bar stool, and like that's my
that's
seat.
your seat,
like,
right? I wasn't even thinking you take a seat. It's like
now I like the corner. I like the corner spot by First Ave. That's my spot. That's put it right there.
The least they could do.
Then it's like, hey girls, I don't know if you noticed, but you can take a look at what's going around. You see all the pictures of people here. Tell me anybody famous that you notice.
The least they could do is put the picture on the front door and then give you a seat just like JW. Like it's like TW a little bit. Like just put a little.
Let's have some class here, boys.
Listen, just a little JW. No, you don't know who J-Dub is?
I'm not asking for the world.
Yeah, you don't know who J-Dub is? Did you see the front door? I mean, that's perfect in my eyes. I mean,
it's a
listen,
no-brainer.
The least they could do. So Jack, obviously, you know, when Jerry talks about like coming up with like his garment for the day and trying to figure out like what Leggett's hat he's wearing. Yeah. What about you and like your apparel? Like, are you wearing specific gear? Whether it's from Texas Tech, things of that nature, like, how does that operate for someone like you?
And Jack, before you jump in, like, you couldn't have possibly thought about an outfit before going to Hawaii.
No, I only packed for Hawaii and that Monday at Riv, and then we played also at LACC on Sunday, the day before Riv, and both of those places are pants only. So I had a couple pairs of pants. I think we got 3 pants from Tech for the golf team. So I was like, I'll just bring all of them. But I only had Tech, you know, hats through like shoes, literally like full outfits from Tech. And then got in contact with Chris Payne at Fluke Apparel, who we've had a relationship with for a little bit. And he was nice enough to, you know, send a little care package overnight to our hotel in LA. So I was wearing, you know, their polos and pullovers, which were unbelievable. They're so nice.
Yeah, you didn't shut up about it. You're like, oh my God, it's the best pullover I've ever worn.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
And I tell you what, the arms look good in the shirt. I got to tell you, you were a good fit for you.
They did. You look good. You look good out there.
Very svelte, right?
I have
lean fit
pullovers. I'm an XL body size. Like that's just like my chest and stomach. I belong in an XL. But then I jeopardize my sleeve length, so they get my sleeves over my hands and they're loose, and I hate it. But you know, Fluke does a great job in that the sleeves are a little shorter and a little tighter, so I didn't have to worry about rolling them up constantly and having them get frayed or whatever, and being looser throughout the day. So those were great. Obviously, with getting through in a college showcase, I wanted to represent Texas Tech a little bit. So, you know, had the hat, belt, had the pants on, which has the logo. So I was kind of doing a two-way street there, which was pretty cool, but really happy with how it worked out. Worked out great.
Are you sick of the same old golf attire, boring shirts, hats, belts that never really match your style? Well, I think we found that right spot. Check out Fluke Apparel Company. Customers have been raving about the quality, and performance of all their products, from the local weekend golfers to the PGA Tour. Visit flukeapparelco.com to check out all their gear. Not only do they have sweatshirts, hoodies, wool hats, polos, belts, you name it, they got it. And it's not just the average shop. It's all good stuff. So go check it out at flukeapparelco.com.
Jerry, actually, before the first round, we're in the hotel room and we're kind of getting ready. And it was I think we had a late tee time. So it was like early in the morning. I wanted Jerry to get to the course and kind of walk with a few groups just to see what the tendencies were on certain holes, where the wind was coming from, all that stuff. And Jerry looks at me, goes, "What? Do I go camo or do I go black and gray Leggings hat? Like, which one do I go with today?" And I'm like, I think, what did I tell you? I think I told you go camo.
Yeah. Go
But
camo.
Jerry was literally like, I think he was a little nervous. Like waking
I
up in
was
the morning, he's
nervous.
like, I don't know where. It was
There's
like
no hiding it. The boy was nervous about the round. No doubt about it. I was like, and boss wanted me to go walk the course. Boy was walking the course.
Yeah.
I want you to
say,
walk the course. I want a bacon, egg, and cheese, and
like a deep tissue backside. I'm like, hey, boss, you're the boss, man.
That when you got kicked?
And then he kicked me down. He was like, "Oh, go down and have breakfast with the caddies. Like, you're not allowed in here. You like,
No, that
total.
you peasant. This is players only.
This is players only, man. You gotta get a player badge."
Yeah, Jerry got booted from player dining.
Yeah, my parents show up, and all of a sudden, I'm like, eating in like a third world country. It was like, man, I just went from dining with all the players. I'm like, we're like sitting there, like Morikawa is like sitting and having food next to us, and all of a sudden, I'm like with the caddies and the workers down there, which honestly still felt like a Ritz Carlton. Not gonna lie.
Gary, tell the story of the caddy registry.
Oh, Bonesy. So Jack yells at me on Thursday, right? And he's like, "Oh, Jack's like, you gotta go register." I'm like, "How could I not know this?" Now it's like one more thing of stress. I have no idea where to go. He goes, "Go down there and like down the stairs and you'll see." I'm like, I had no idea where I'm going. So like I roll into the caddy yard, and it's literally the clubhouse of the tennis club. And I roll in and I'm like, I don't see a table to like register, and like Bones is sitting there kind of by himself, and like all the other caddies are like kind of mingling like at other tables. So I'm like, is this where I register? And like Bonesy kind of looks up and he's like, "Oh, we got a newbie, boys." So I'm like, "Bones, I just got to know, is this where I register or not?" And he's like, "Yeah, over there at that table." I'm like, "There's nobody there." So I had to kind of hang out for like 20 minutes before the guy showed up. And then he was like, "Oh, are you Jack Wall's caddy?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, you got to register." I'm like, "That's why I'm here, my guy." So we got registered. He gave me some, he actually gave me like, it was like a tea gift for the caddies. It was like this like stem kind of like heat pad. I was like, man, I've played in some like, I played in USGA events, big events, and I've never gotten a tea gift as nice as this. And I was just caddying. It was sick.
That shows that next level up.
Yeah. Oh, and you guys should see this locker, like the locker rooms and all of like everything for the players. I mean, you are like, you feel like a 1% of 1%er. Like it's insane how catered the whole event is for these guys.
And the locker room corridor didn't hurt. The presence of everybody in the corridor was sick. It was me. Here, actually, I'll start it with who doesn't belong in this. But so
all the Y's and W's.
It was like Gary Woodland, Nick Watney. I mean, the guy used to be. He
shot 900.
He didn't play well.
Yeah, you smoked them. Take the over on Nick Watney, boys.
Cam Young, Will Zalatoris, me, Danny Willett, and then like 7 feet across from me is the big cat.
Whoa. What?
And he had his own little area. Like all these guys that I was with in my area, he didn't have a single person. It was literally just him. We had 6 golf bags on one side, and literally he didn't have anything. It was just empty on that side. So I'm like, do I like put my bag on that side because I like that side more, or like? But
just go knock on his door and say, "Hey, listen, you got room for one more?"
Yeah.
Hey, Tiger, are you using your whole locker? Or?
You think that's like hot girl syndrome, where it's like, where it's like people are too afraid to go up to him. Like nobody wants to go up to the super hot girl because they don't want to get turned down. And she's obviously out of everyone's league. Is that like, you think that's what it is?
100%.
I mean, there's got to be something.
Hey, Tiger,
behind
do you have an extra clothes hanger I can borrow, buddy?
Yo, Tiger, can I just putt with your putter real quick? I just want to see what it feels like.
Right. You're not using your putter correctly. You've only hit it in one small section. You got to use the whole putter, bud.
Yeah, use the toe. It comes off a little dead.
Jack, there's your perfect opportunity to be a little sarcastic with the guy, especially if he's in there. Be like, Tiger, let me help you real quick here with this. Let me show you something.
Tiger, I've noticed something about your swing. Let me talk to you about it.
So good.
It was, I mean, what a week.
It was
And
so
by the
sick.
way, when it comes to Jerry Lupin and future events, like, I think it's definitely going to be happening. Like, obviously got to get into some events first, but hopefully that'll happen. But I plan on Jared being there come Thursday morning. Hopefully we can prepare a little more together prior
That's the thing.
to,
Like if you knew on, Sunday of the week prior,
right? Like you're there.
we get out there for the whole week,
Right.
get the work in.
But honestly, like having Jerry there was great. Like parents came out, girlfriend came out, like we had the whole nine. Augie came out, like we had the whole nine, other than Ethan because he had some stuff to get done with work and
at the store. Somebody had to stay back, hold down the fort.
But just like having everybody there, because to me, that's what I've been working for 20 years, like, and then going through high school, college, like that's been more realistic, the past few years. But my parents obviously sacrificed a lot for all of us to play this game, being at Manasquan, and they've done so much for us on the golf course, that to have them there to share the success, to be playing a PJ Tour event, to have them in player dining, like, meant the world to me. And then have Jerry on the bag was, it's just special. And that's what I wanted the week to be. I wanted it to be a combination of special and like, let's go get a result, or let's go like, focus on how to play my best. And I honestly think that we did both of those things really well, which was really cool.
Jack, it's funny you bring that up because I was just going to ask you, like, how we joke around with Jerry a little bit here being on the bag, but in all seriousness, how he's a great golfer in his own right, so he's going to bring that knowledge. But being that you guys, the last time we talked, you guys talked about being super competitive and all that stuff, but also he is your brother. How good was it having Jerry on the bag, someone that knows you so well that can say, hey, like, you got to be calm here, or like maybe even make a joke here, or knowing when to make a joke, or like all those kind of things that caddies need to do? How beneficial was that?
Oh, it was huge. It was nice to just like not have to feel that pressure of like, a result all week. Like you can have some caddies that are just too into it with golf to a point where like you get angry, or you're like, you just want to say like, can you stop? Like, this is not what I need.
You just missed that read by a foot. Like, shut up.
I need a calming sense. And then when there's a bad putter, I freak out a little bit. Like, I'm not going to feel bad at the end of the day because like we're brothers and that's what we do. But there's like, hey, I'm sorry about like on 7 hitting the tree. Like,
I just think you're good enough. I mean, I could not gonna lie. So I don't know if you guys. Let's walk you guys through this little scenario. So Jack hits the worst drive of the week, and it's funny because we're screaming at each other. Not really screaming, but we're mad at each other.
Birdie.
What's that?
This was post birdie, I believe.
Yeah, and actually, just back it up for to number 6. My homework paid off. Like you sending me out there work because we birdied 6, and that was the big thing. The wind swirls out there, so we had just come off a really good birdie. On a tough wind, pin placement on number 6. We get that. We get, like, let's finish this round off because we played well. Like, let's finish the round off. And then you blew it right on 7. And there's one tree, and we're right behind it. And the lie was okay, but ultimately the drive set us up for bogey. That's the moral of the story. But either way, there's a tree, and I'm like, Jack, it's just loft that thing right up over it, open up the face a little bit on the wedge and just smoke it. I can hit the shot, and I stink compared to you, so you can definitely hit the shot. and my boy absolutely middle of the tree. And the thing shoots dead right into like we had to look for the ball for a few like probably a couple minutes. We were probably getting close to them being like Jack, like 30-second mark, like let's go. And so we found that we had to go directly sideways and then we got up and down from like 60 yards. So like it was a stressful bogey. And that was actually the one thing that we did. That was the only time that we really had like a stressful bogey. The rest of the week, I thought we thought through shots so well. I mean, I think, obviously getting put in that situation of a bad tee shot, we should have chipped out. That's one decision I think we wish we had done differently. But I think the pride and of we're both very stubborn guys. Like we don't want to have to chip out and try to make par. Like we want to go for it. Like I can hit this shot, and I think you agreed with me that you could hit the shot, and you ended up not hitting the shot because you stink. But
It wasn't that far. It was. I mean, I still needed to. But I mean, I want to talk about more. The next story I got is, we met Kurt Byram, who is a PGA, like the PGA Tour commentator.
The commentator, yeah.
Yeah, so we're on the range, and he comes up and he's talking to us. We're kind of just hanging out, and he's talking to us. And I think it was after the first round, after they kind of showed us on TV and like kind of talked about what our deal was, they were talking about Jerry and how he was my brother caddying for me this week, and like he was a good player, and how he played in the USAM. And that night in the hotel room,
just had it on loop.
Jerry.
Had it on loop. It was great. Best moment of my life.
Listening to Kurt Byram telling him that he was a good player.
Love
laying
that.
in bed, and Jerry's in his little cot, like little.
I have it on
roll
like loud. I'm like falling asleep to it.
So good.
It's really just Kurt Byram being like, "Yeah, played in the USAM here. He's a really good player." Like,
and what the best brother ever. Great golfer.
He might be better than Jack.
Why isn't he playing?
But
I would have shot 100. But the course was too hard for me.
So, Jared, I'm going to flip the question on you. Like, how special was it seeing what Jack was doing from being on his bag and knowing his game so well?
It's so funny because you never know how nervous somebody else is. Like you just know how nervous you are, and I just wonder if I was actually more nervous than Jack because like. I think when you're well prepared for something, you don't have to be that nervous. So like, I felt I felt like I had a lack of preparation, between not getting out there till Wednesday, not getting out to go onto the course until literally first tee shot. So I was super nervous because of that. Like I didn't want my, not having been out there and lack of prep be the reason, I didn't want to cost Jack because of me. So I was really nervous because of that. I think that he stepped up to the challenge 100%. I mean, his game looks so good, which is why I think we both would say like, if we could retry, we could just start over right now and just do it one more time. Like give us another shot. We make the cut all day long. I have like the 100% faith in that. But to watch him like, on the 10th tee and like coming up 9 and 18 and like on 13, 14 with all the galleries, like watching your baby brother, like, in the moment that he's basically spent his entire life, like, training for, I couldn't have been happier. But like, yeah, those moments of like first tee shots, I'm like, please get this ball in the air. Like, don't shank it, like, and, make a fool of yourself. Like, please get this ball, like somewhere near where we're aiming. And to his credit, the entire week hit it great. Like the I think his drive on 10 the first round, like it went into the trees, like, left of the green. I think that ball would have probably went like 370. I mean, he absolutely mashed it between adrenaline and just grooving it. I mean, it was pretty cool to see and to be a part of it. And that was the thing. Like when I found out that he qualified, like I wanted the bag, and I'm super competitive too. I mean, between me and him, like we are two of the most competitive people that I know. It's like we have that kind of personality trait. So I wanted to kind of feel like I was in the fight with him and like try to help him get to that, get to the cut, and maybe make some noise on the weekend. And the fact that we didn't, I think we both just wanted that much more to get him there.
Like I'm still disappointed with it. With the result.
You told me yesterday.
Like I called him yesterday and was like, I can't get it out of my mind that result. Like I need another go. Like I literally
You played so much
cannot.
better than 4 over. Or like 4 over was literally, I mean, the worst you could have shot. I mean, it could have been between not birding. I mean, par fives, you were 1 over, and I felt like you were in good position on 11 every day. You three putted number one the first day. I mean, we could just find shots everywhere around the course. Like, I think that the shot you hit on 3 or 4 in the first round, like, I think if we just redid it, like I just know we could make the cut. I just know it because your game is there.
Do you think that that's because you didn't have that experience before? Like this is your first one, right? So now being like the next time you go, you're going to be locked in on all these other things that you might not have expected.
100%. Because on like number, I think I was going to say number 4, we like hit one over the green and like struggled. Like we had too many stressful bogeys. It felt like
there were a lot of mistakes, and that's just like my game right now. My swing and everything, just it's either birdie or bogey. Like we had qualifying yesterday for our next event, and I went out and shot 1 under, and I had a stretch. I was 3 over through 3, had a stretch. I went birdie, 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 eagle. So I turned in 3 under, and then ended up shooting 1 under. So that's just my game right now. But that's what we did the first day. Like me.
Are you in? Are you in the next tournament?
We have our final round of qualifying today. This afternoon. So we'll see. We're going to Cabo.
That doesn't suck.
I listen. I stalked the schedule. I see. I stalked the schedule. I saw where you're going.
Have fun. I think
it's more like
45.
It's more like vacation. Yeah, it's still like vacation.
It's getting to a point like I'm happy to be back in Lubbock. Obviously, like I want to come home for spring break. That'd be ideal. That'd be nice. But like I didn't know. I had a stretch where I wasn't in Lubbock or at school from February 4th until the 23rd.
Jeez.
23rd.
And
it's a good problem to have.
How you doing classes? You like are they Zoom or are they just?
I have 3 online classes that I've been able to like kind of keep up with.
Okay.
And then I have 1 in-person class, but the professor's like, I went to see him the other day because I missed an exam, so I had to make it up. And he was like, "So, like, you're having a pretty good stretch of weeks here." I'm like, yeah, it's not too bad. It's between Hawaii, and he goes, "Yeah." Then you were in LA, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's a pretty good stretch, I would say."
Yeah, and I'm gonna miss next week's because I'm in Cabo.
Right. And he's like, "Whoa, what did I do wrong with my life?" I'm like, "Oh, great." Play
golf better.
Jerry, you playing any NJSGA stuff this summer?
So here's my schedule. I'm playing I want to win the state mid-am at Deal. I mean, it's so close. So I'm signing up day 1. I'm getting on the qualifying list. So I'm gonna do.
Where are you qualifying?
I have no idea.
You're too young. See, like, the mid-am is like guys like me. Like that's where I need to fit in. Now, you're not a mid-am guy. I'm pushing 40. Like you're not a mid-am guy.
So I'll tell you why. The big reason. So I'm not exempt for the state am at Swan, and I desperately want to play in that. So
I don't blame you.
I think I was talking to one of the guys at the state golf, Brad, and he was saying I think if you get to like the semis of mid-am, you don't have to do a qualifier for the state am. So like I'm looking at it as like a second opportunity, kind of like, just get myself into the am. Don't have to worry about doing a 1-round qualifier, not getting in, and then having to go out and watch guys like Jack, dominate Swan at the state am. I got to be playing in that.
Too, pal.
Jack, what's that?
I
think you can get a sponsor's exemption into the state mid-am or the state am. I don't think it'll be an issue.
You want to make that call?
Who's going to caddy for you, Jack? If Jerry gets in, who's caddying for you?
I don't. Maybe Dimmick. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you can't. Love you, Dimer.
He's gonna be in his jacket and tie, just
It's gonna be his convertible golf cart.
The good thing about Manasquan is that there's a surplus of guys we know.
Yeah.
That do it every day.
Good guys like our age that would pick up the bag.
Mike already told me I can't caddy for him, so I'm open and available if you guys need.
I said that is just like you guys. Yeah, listen, that's the one that you're 100%.
Yeah, I'll be ready for that. I'll know nothing about the course. You'll have to tell me how the putt breaks. But...
Oh no, you don't have to do anything. You just got to shoot the number and just tell me how far.
Just be a bag carrier.
That's it. I'll figure it out.
Carrier.
That's all.
Yeah, you're exactly. Just tote the sack. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Just get up and down the hills with me, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah, you're the mule for the week.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's great. But listen, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
hopefully we'll all get together soon.
Yeah. And I hope we can talk about another tour event in a little bit.
Hopefully there's more to come. So
Yep.
For sure.
Definitely.
you guys keep killing it.
Yeah, love the stuff, guys.
Thank you.